What a great view this place has. Hello, sir. We've come to Forever Mountain in hope of peering into the wildlands, that we might have some sort of idea where we are going.
I am pleased to meet you. My name is Tycho Northpaw.
You seem to have an excellent view up here. Have you had occasion to do much observation of the wildlands?
Indeed I have. In fact, I have made maps of part of them.
Indeed, most interesting.
I am both an astronomer and cartologist.
Cartologist?
A map maker.
Our new friend is a map maker. Perhaps you could tell us something about the wildlands.
I will tell you what I know of the wildlands. It is a place of great danger. It is also a place of great magnificence. There are hostile tribes, treacherous terrain, and roaming reptiles. It is also a land of great beauty and power.
It sounds like a truly wondrous place.
I could just as easily be describing the known lands.
But it sounds very different.
In some ways, the wildlands are very different from the known lands. In some ways, they are very similar.
Have you ever been to the wildlands yourself?
I have not. With my impaired sense of smell, I am at somewhat of a disadvantage in the wilds. I do, however, occasionally encounter a traveler who has been through the wildlands, and he will supply me with information.
Many fear the wildlands and say they are full of unspeakable dangers.
That is only fear of the unknown. If you make the unknown known, the fear has nowhere to take root.
Can you give us any suggestions for our journey?
Keep all of your senses on alert, especially your common sense. You will need them.
How much of the wildlands can be seen from this mountain?
That is hard to say. I cannot see as much as I used to when I had my light catcher. However, no one I have met has ever reached the other side and returned to tell their story.
Yes, the wildlands are a fascinating place, but there are some other things to discuss. Tell us about yourself. How did you come to live here on the edge of the wildlands?
I was born a member of the dog tribe and raised to be a hunter. However, that career was cut short. You see, I suffer from hay fever, which not only renders my sense of smell useless, but on the hunt, my sneezing had a tendency to alert the prey to our presence. I soon became quite a liability to the hunting party.
I'm terribly sorry. That must have been quite difficult for you.
Not really. True, the other members of the tribe soon ostracized me, but I was never much of a hunter anyway. My heart just wasn't in it. I was much more interested in the stars. I would lie on my back night after night and watch them into the early hours of the morning. I charted their progress across the sky and studied them until I knew each and every one by heart. So I decided to become an astronomer.
What led you to Forever Mountain?
The king of the dog tribe at the time, Rex, had no use for astronomy. He considered it a waste of time. All he cared about was the hunt. So after I was ostracized, I decided to find the highest mountain I could from which to gaze at the stars. And that was here, Forever Mountain.
What did you find when you first arrived here?
I found this building.
Just this building? Nothing more?
Oh yes, there were many other things.
What kind of things?
Instruments for seeing the stars. Light catchers, I call them. I believe they were actually left here by the humans before they ascended.
What makes you think they were left by humans?
The items I found are far beyond our own technology.
And you actually believe all of these humans ascended to the land of the clouds?
Actually, I believe the humans ascended to the moon.
What?
The image we see on the moon? That is actually the face of a human. I believe they carved it there so we would know that they are always looking down on us, watching us and caring for us. Someday they will return.
And when will that be?
When we are good enough, when we have learned enough, when we have stopped fighting amongst ourselves and learned to live in peace. Only then will we be worthy.
I find that hard to believe.
Then what do you believe in, my young friend?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
Ah.
That's all very interesting, of course, but there are a few other things we'd like to discuss. You mentioned something called a light catcher. What is that?
Ah, my light catcher. It is an instrument I found in this house. It makes objects that are far away seem close at hand. It makes the stars seem so close you could reach up and touch them. It makes the moon look as if it were right next door.
What a wonderful apparatus! May we see it?
I will show it to you, but I'm afraid the instrument itself is broken. About 8 moons ago, I had it on my desk. A strong wind blew through my window, blowing papers to the floor and taking my light catcher with it. Part of it shattered, and it has not worked since. It still pains me to think about it.
What part broke?
This small, round, clear part. It cracked in half.
And you've been unable to repair it?
I'm afraid so.
That is most unfortunate. Such an instrument would help us greatly on our quest. There are a few other things we'd like to discuss.
Go on.
How did you come to make these maps?
From my vantage point here on the mountain, I would look through my light catcher to the wild lands below. I saw the hills and the valleys. If I saw an area of thick vegetation, I knew there must be water nearby. If it was a round, contained area, it was a lake. If it was a long, extended area, it was a river or stream. If at night I saw a fire, I assumed it must either be a campfire or a village. The size of the fire and the consistency of its occurrence told me which.
Perhaps you would lend us the use of your map.
There's no point in getting a map until we have some idea of what direction we're going.
You're probably right. Perhaps you would
There's no point.
You're probably right. Perhaps you could tell.
I've already...
We'll be on our way.
Good luck to you.
I haven't seen this many rules since I was in school. This fellow could be a problem. Good day to you, sir.
Day it is, good it is not.
We are in need of information.
What sort of information?
I am curious about the history of the rat tribe. What can you tell me?
I have no time for a history lesson. You should schedule an appointment with one of our historians.
Your historians?
That's right. We rats are one of the few tribes that can tell you about our history, for we've kept records since time immemorial.
Then you are one of the older races?
That's right. According to legend, we were the first race to be morphed. This may account for our copious record keeping.
Do you have actual records of contact with the humans?
Ah, records of the humans. Those records are quite vague. They suggest that the humans kept our ancestors in cages while they bestowed the gift.
The gift?
That is what our people call the giving of self-awareness to morphs.
And what happened after you were given this gift?
Details are sketchy. Apparently, our ancestors worked with humans on a regular basis. In fact, they taught us their language and script.
Your ancestors served the humans?
Serve them? Of course not. We are not servants. We help them in their scientific experiments, on some level.
Then the rats and the humans must have been great allies.
Not so. Even though some humans worked with us, most of their race had great prejudice and fear toward us. They would drive us away or kill us if they could. Morphed and unmorphed alike, some had such hatred for us that they would hunt us down and set traps to catch us.
What did your people do?
What we had to do to survive. We segregated ourselves from man and built dwellings under the ground where we would be safe from those that would harm us. We continued that lifestyle even after the humans vanished.
And you believe these legends?
I believe all legends are part fact and part fiction. Which is which, only our ancestors knew for sure.
And your job is to watch this door?
It is not. I am no mere watchman. There are several of us who take turns watching the door. My main duty, however, is keeping track of our trade balance with other tribes.
What is your main form of exchange?
We deal mostly in information. Whatever skills we have come from our vast storehouse of written knowledge.
How did you get this job?
It is a trade that was passed down from my father and from his father before him.
You've been doing this a long time then?
As long as I can remember. My father would bring me to this very room, even when I was very young, and teach me about this trade.
Do you enjoy this job?
Enjoy? Enjoy? What kind of question is that? It is my job. It is what I do for the good of my society. My personal enjoyment does not enter into it.
Tell us more about your society. Tell us about your people.
For one thing, we like to be left alone.
Really? Why is that?
Because we are usually too busy to make idle chit-chat. Therefore, our contact with other races is usually limited to what is necessary for trading.
But there were several rats at the puzzle tournament. In fact, it was a rat who beat me.
That's true. We seem to have a great skill for puzzle solving. So several of our younger members do enjoy getting out and dealing with other tribes at these events. It's just a phase, however, and usually doesn't last long. They soon return to the solitary lifestyle.
What do you do for fun?
Our pastimes are mostly intellectual. Games, puzzles, anagrams, the like. Physically, we enjoy foot races and hide and seek. Now, if you will excuse me, I must get back to my work.
You are indeed a most interesting race. We would like an audience with your leader.
An audience with our leader? An audience with our leader? Do you have an appointment?
We do not.
Then an audience is impossible.
Why?
Why? Because he only receives visitors from mid-morning until mid-afternoon every other day during the week, and from noon until dusk on the other two. On the day of Throne, he receives only invited guests from dusk until midnight, and on the day of Daff, he receives no visitors whatsoever. Therefore, you will have to wait for your audience.
But, good sir, you do not understand. I have an idea to distract him. Play along. We'd like to make an appointment.
Very well, then. What is your name again?
My name is Riff of the Fox Tribe.
Riff of the Fox Tribe. And you are...
This is Who Are You of the Boar Tribe. And Yasser I Am of the Elk Tribe.
You are who?
No. Yasser I am.
No, who are you?
That's me.
You? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm the doorkeeper. Who are you?
Who are you?
I said I'm the doorkeeper.
Who are you?
I'm the doorkeeper. Who is he?
That's right.